Y'all can see me well. It's kind of getting a bit dark, but I thought I would come by and just do a quick little live. Although, I don't know, it might go a little longer than quick, but drop your comments in the comment section and let me know how you feel about this topic. So, I wanted to talk about friendship and how I feel friendship has kind of looked like it's changed in 2026. Now, I was born in the 90s and grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s. So, I just wanted to give my take on how I felt friendships were back then versus how I feel and see how they are now in the shows, in the media, and in a lot of recent cases. Missing person cases, crime cases. Now, anything I'm going to say in this live is allegedly, and I don't know the complete facts, nor does anyone who comes on this live or comments knows the complete facts unless they are part of law enforcement, and even then, allegedly. So, when I was growing up in the 90s and the early 2000s, friendship was, and this is from my perspective, so y'all don't tussle with me in the comments because I know y'all love to tussle. But in the 90s and the early 2000s, what I remember friendship to be like, and I've spoken to a few people about this and they've said, yeah, girl, yeah, I remember that too. I remember friendships being like, if we go somewhere together, we leave together. If you ain't got it and I can help you, I'll help you. Now, mind you, we don't mean that you're going to give your last and leave yourself without, or you're going to always give to people who are draining or people who aren't worth it. I'm talking about your friends. Now, people who you developed a really close relationship with, a friendship with. You guys share things together, close things, private things, and y'all don't really judge each other. Now, we're humans, so we're gonna judge each other naturally in terms of like, I would say, natural human nature is you have a level of judgment because you need to be able to assess things around you. So we naturally have judgment. But when I say judgment, I mean like if you're close with somebody, you naturally are going to just think of yourself, you think of your friends in the best light, regardless of what they're going through, and just empathize with them. And you guys grow and you share and things of that nature. So, hi, someone in the chat said, where am I from? Toronto, Canada. You're saying good morning. In Toronto, it's almost going to be night. So, good evening. But yeah, so thank you for anyone who joins the live. If you gotta leave, it's all right. Catch the replay. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. So, like I was saying, I was born in the 90s, grew up in the 90s and early 2000s, and friendship back then, from my perspective and from the perspective of other people who I grew up with, we were, I've talked to a few people and we were talking about it and said, you know what, friendship back then was about closeness. It was about being there for your friends. It was about, if you ain't got it, I'ma help you, in boundaries wise, and I find that nowadays, and I'm seeing, like I said, in the media, in shows, in cases that have been happening, um, out in society, correct me on some of these names. I don't remember all of them. There was the Shanquilla case, I believe. There's now the Nolan Wells case and a lot of alleged things with that. I believe there was another young lady who had a case a couple years back. I believe this might have been during COVID or a little bit after COVID, where allegedly they said she was found in a freezer and she had went to a hotel earlier with friends and allegedly wandered off and was found in a cooler, and many other cases online. So it just made me think to myself, you know what, it's weird. I'm not saying in the 90s and the early 2000s they didn't have toxic friendships and cases of this nature, but I'm just saying now in 2026 I feel like, and part of it is because social media is bigger than back then, but I feel like there is like a multiplication of all of the highlighted toxic friendships we're seeing out in society and the media. And I just wanted to briefly touch on that and say, you know what, back then, and comment in the comment section if you agree, anyone who's a 90s baby and grew up in that time, when I used to go out clubbing with my friends, if we went clubbing together, we left together. And if anybody had to go separate, we would let each other know. We would text, you know, if somebody went to the washroom, we would all go to the washroom together. We'd all check for each other. Like, just point blank period. And I feel like a lot of what I'm seeing online now is like a lot of people, and I've seen a lot of people give their stories on girls trips and things of that nature, and a lot of people saying, you know, I went on this trip with this person and they ain't got no money. I went on this trip with this person and they did this. I went on this trip with this person and they wandered off. I went on this trip with this person and they showed me that they're not a true friend. And I'm just like, well, who y'all going on trips with? Because to me, back in the day, like I said, your friends were your friends. Like, there's no question about it. There's mosquitoes out here, but there's no question about it. If y'all were going on trips, trust me, that was your girl, that was your boy. For the men, y'all were locked in. And I remember when I was like in my early 20s and I used to go clubbing, and I was somebody who, I went clubbing if I had my money, or if my friends would say, okay, we're going to cover you for drinks, or we're going to cover you for rides. Like, we all would cover each other, or we all would pitch in. And if I didn't have it to pitch in, and if no one wanted to cover for me or whatever, I stayed home. Okay. And I remember somebody once told me that people were saying things about me like, oh, you know, Shay never wants to come out and we go and get drinks from guys. And, you know, why doesn't she want to, you know, partake in this? Like, she's basically, the person's trying to say, people are saying like I was kind of stuck up or miserable. And I was like, miserable because I don't want to go to a place hoping that men are going to buy me drinks. And I'm basically playing them because you're not going to, you don't like these men. You're just taking free things from them. And then let's say you don't get anything from them, or these men want something in return and you don't want to give it. Now you're what? Stuck with no way to get home. You're stuck with not getting a drink. You're stuck with not getting anything to eat. Like, I don't know about anybody else, but I grew up with Caribbean parents and grandparents, Jamaican to be exact. And my grandmother always told me, listen, you don't go anywhere unless you know how you're getting there, getting back, and how you're paying for yourself. So that's always been my thing. Like, I'm not going to go anywhere and then be like, yeah, the guys are going to pay. No. Because if you go there and you don't like somebody, and that ain't nobody got time for that. So if I'm going somewhere, I'm making sure I got my money or my friends. That's it, point blank period. So, you know, looking at all these French things in the media, like I said, you know, allegedly, like I said at the beginning of this video, a lot of these cases, you know, some of them haven't been brought to justice. You know, yeah, I know y'all seen it, the Shanquilla cases, the Nolan Wells, the girl that I said was found in the freezer allegedly, and so many other cases, and people giving their take on girls' trips gone wrong. I'm just like, yeah. And to this day, right now in 2026, I, to be honest, don't really have friends. I think I have like 3 or 4 people I can say, okay, I am friends with them, but I don't really keep friends like that for a lot of various reasons. Like I said, like, I'm the type of person that if we're friends, if we're supposed to be going out and you ain't got it, I would love to either we put together, or I'm covering you, or vice versa. People nowadays don't know nothing about that. Everybody's going on TikTok and YouTube and shading their friends. Like, I've seen so many story times of people saying we went out, this girl didn't have money, this girl didn't do. Like, back in the day, we never really aired our friends out like that. Like, if we had issues, we would talk about it in a friend group. Mind you, yeah, people would sometimes talk about you behind your back, but as a collective, we would all come back together and be like, yeah, girl, you was wrong, or yeah, girl, da 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 da. You talk it out, you correct it. Now I feel like in the day of social media, everybody is clout chasing. Everybody wants to come on and tell their crazy story time, their vacation story time, and just, I don't know. I think clout, sorry, I got this drink in my hand that keeps popping up and it's about to spill. But I feel like 2026, like, social media era has really, Lord have mercy. This drink is just, okay, y'all bear with me. Hold on. I'm going to have to, the cover for this drink is just fumbling all over the place. Hold on. Oh my God. Dang. Okay, you know what? I think I'm going to leave this on the, there's like a stone here, like a little pathway thing, I'm gonna leave it there because but and I'm kind of scared because I'm in the park. It's about to be night. As you can see, my background is a bit dark, and just kind of branching off a bit, it is a bit of a rant. I was over in another section of the park. I was gonna film. I was sitting there and I heard so much ruffling in the bushes, and I said, well, what's that? I thought it was a squirrel. You know, squirrels, anybody who has been around squirrels, they're fairly afraid of people. Like, they literally run off like the minute you try to get close to them. And I ignored it. I was trying to take pictures for the thumbnail for this video. All of a sudden, I looked behind me, and at first I thought it was a squirrel, and then I looked down and I seen black and white and jumped up, left my belongings at the had to go back and get it because I said, girl, that's a skunk. And anybody who knows skunks know that when they see you or sense fear or like things like that, they're gonna spray you, and their spray is stink. Okay. So when I saw that, I was so scared. I ran, left all my stuff, and had to go back and get it because I'm like, girl. So yeah, like, I'm just, if you see me looking around, it's because I'm just like, I'm at the park and there's a lot of nature here. So yeah, that's just my crazy story for anybody who cares. Someone says, even if okay, I'm gonna address one thing. Hopefully I don't have to address it all the time on my channel. Somebody's saying, even if the comments are speaking to itself, read it, sister. Okay, I appreciate and I respect all who comment. Well, I shouldn't say I respect, because some of y'all be disrespectful. I appreciate people who drop by and like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. But in recent times, I have found a lot of very disrespectful comments that I've had to delete. So when somebody's doing a live, and I feel like a lot of people are pretty inconsiderate, think about it. If you're talking into a camera, do you have all the time to talk, think about what you're saying, have a proper presence, and read everybody's comments? It's a little bit difficult. So if I see your comments sometimes, just hang on, give me a chance to read it. And sometimes I see comments, and if they aren't relevant or they're disrespectful, I skip past them. Sometimes YouTube puts a block on it, and it will just show like comment blocked or like an exclamation or whatever. So not everybody who comments I can address, because sometimes YouTube blocks it. Sometimes it's not relevant. I'm in the middle of a topic. You know, some of y'all are just asking me to shout y'all out, which I don't mind, but stay on topic. Be engaged in the conversation. If you're not joining the conversation, a lot of y'all just want me to say big ups to you, shout you out, and then that's it. And y'all ain't even liking, commenting, and subscribing. So don't complain that I'm not reading your comments, because sometimes I go back and watch the lives and people are disrespecting me, which if you're disrespecting me, I don't know why you're here. Or people are just asking for a shout out, which is going to sidetrack the speaker, which is me, right? So just hang on in there, calm down, relax, you'll get your moment. Or when the live is finished, just comment in the comment section, and then your comment will be, you know, cemented. It will be a permanent thing, as long as it's respectful, because either I will have to remove it or YouTube. It ain't always me. Sometimes YouTube blocks it. I've been on live before and I've seen blocks, and when I go back as the creator and look at it, it shows like something that is, I guess, what YouTube sees inappropriate, and so it's blocked. So y'all gotta be respectful of y'all stuff. Why is this person screaming? They literally see I'm talking to the camera, hear me say YouTube, meaning I'm on YouTube, and they're walking behind me. Like I swear, some people do things on purpose. They see you doing something and they wanna be in the mix so bad. Like, and trust me, people might be like, girl, you're tripping. No. So many times I've sat down, I've held up my camera, and people come behind me in the camera. Like, if you want to be in, just say that. Everybody want to be in the mix. Everybody want to be in the mix. Instead of doing that, why don't they come and say, girl, what's your channel? Let me follow you. Let me give you a big up. No, they want us be in the back trying to, and talking and screaming. Anyways, so back to my topic about friendship. It's getting real dark out here. I'm about to wrap it up soon, because I'm here where there is a bit of light provided. There's like a little building here in the park that has like light, as you can see, but it's still, as you can see, it's still getting dark. It's still getting dark. So yeah, hopefully y'all are having a great day. But as I was saying in the beginning of my video, the topic was about friendship and how I feel that friendship has kind of changed a bit in 2026 from how it was in the 90s and the early 2000s. Like I said back then, I feel like people were a little bit more tied in, we go together, we leave together, we close, we share our secrets, our most vulnerable parts. And yes, there was toxic things in the 90s and the early 2000s, but I feel like because social media is on such a large level now, people I feel like are doing things on purpose just to come up and be like, story time, and here's the receipts. Like, I've seen so many story times and I'm like, yeah, y'all are some clout chasers. Like, if you felt that way about your friend, why go on a trip with them? Why still be their friend? Why? And then a lot of these things are ending up in people being not on the earth anymore. Like I said, we've been seeing cases where so-called friendships are leading to people no longer being here on earth, you know, all kind of things. And I just feel like it, just be careful, just be cautious. One thing I love about and it's a love-hate relationship with my Jamaican grandparents, which only one is alive now, the others are deceased, rest in peace. But my Jamaican grandparents and parents is that they raised me in a way where they were like, listen, be very vigilant with your friends, be vigilant when you go out. I remember my grandma, when she was alive on my mom's side, used to always tell me, you know what, sometimes if you're not invited, don't invite yourself. If you weren't invited, don't invite yourself. Sorry, I gotta put my bag down, it's heavy. And she used to always tell me, if you're going somewhere, make sure that you know how you're getting there, and you know how you're getting back home, and you're spending money when you're going there. Don't go there, depend on people, and then get left off to the side. Like, nothing's worse than embarrassment. And another gem that I was always taught was, don't beg friends. Like, if it's authentic and it's working out, great. If not, leave them people alone. A lot of these cases I hear online and these situations and these story times, it always, when you listen to it, it boils down to there was a lot of red flags prior. But and I do it too. As humans, we sometimes give people the benefit of the doubt, and that's fine. But sometimes there's literally 1,000 signs and we're giving people 10,000 chances. Now, how is there 1,000 signs you're giving people 10,000 chances? That is not it. It doesn't even match. So sometimes you gotta really watch out for the red flags. Even me, I've cut off so many people in my lifetime because I felt that there was just a disconnect, or I've spoken to people before about certain things that concerned me, and I felt like after years and years and years, there was no change, there was no effort towards, and unfortunately I had to change my number, everything, and disconnect from those people. And at times I felt a little bit bad, but then I said, no, Shay, I can't feel bad. If you're talking to somebody as a friend, they've known you for years and years and years, you guys know each other on a very personal level, and you've spoken about certain things, and there is not even 20% out of 100% little bit of change. When I had some experiences with being precariously housed and being homeless at different times in my life, that's when I really learned what friendship was. And I remember my grandma told me that on my mom's side, who passed away a couple years ago, rest in peace. She told me, when you're in trouble, when you're sick, is when you're really going to learn who your friends are. And I did, in those scenarios, because it's understandable sometimes people can't house you at their house. People have different housing situations, blase, etc., etc. But sometimes small gestures make a big difference. Checking in on somebody on a regular basis, sometimes taking that person out, even if it's just for a walk in the park, that's free. Maybe getting some ice cream cones and sitting with them in a park, talking with them, just letting them vent, like letting them get a breath out in their very trying situation, calling them, messaging them. We're in 2026. It doesn't take much to send somebody like a quick message. Hey, what's up? How are you? Hey, how's that situation going? Like, just checking if you're good. Like, hope everything's all right. Like, hope we can meet up. A lot of people don't do that. And I learned that when I went through, like I said, times when I was precariously housed or experiencing moments of homelessness. I realized like a lot of people weren't really my friends, and some people I still do, talk to them now. And I'm not gonna lie, that experience left me still feeling very, very saddened, very saddened, because and heartbroken, because I really felt like if the roles were reversed, I would have been 1,000%. I would have been following those people. I would have been beside them day by day, moment. But I don't even know. I probably would have maybe almost quit my job to be around those people. But I realized everybody isn't going to support you the way that you would support them. And I realized, you know what, that's life. And I'm still working through that, working through those hurt feelings. Um, but yeah, I've realized that, people have different versions of friendship. People have different trauma. People have different reasonings and way of how they see things. And uh, you know so friendship can be a very tricky thing. Sometimes you feel so close with people, you share everything, all the personal stuff, health things, family things, finances. Now what in the world is jumping up in the dark? You know what, let me get away from here. I see something jumping up in the God forbid it's another skunk, because ain't nobody got time for that. But and the lighting was so good there, I don't want to even leave. Ooh, the lighting is good here too. Yeah, thank you for anybody who's liking, comment, sharing, and subscribing to the live. I don't want anyone to feel left out. As somebody had comment earlier, like, please answer us. Yes, I see y'all. Someone said, hi, do you support LGBTQ? On my channel, sorry, it seems a little dark here. I don't want to, give me 1 second. I don't speak about a lot of topics on my channel, just for the fact that a lot of things, you'd be surprised, on social media, just giving your comment can lead you into the world of issues. So not just LGBTQ topics do I not usually talk about. I don't talk about a lot of things that have to do with W the battles of the battlings of the different countries, too much to do with religion, too much to do with just a lot of things, politics, because I have seen where some people have lost their channel for talking on certain things. I have seen where certain people have stood up 10 toes down for certain causes and then later on, changed their speech. The internet is not, sorry, I'm moving around because I'm trying to find proper lighting, and it's not that easy to do that with all the animals around. But it's not that I don't want to support certain causes and come out strong. It's just because the internet is not, whoop, Jesus Christ. The internet is not very forgiving. You speak about something today, and 10 years from now, people will pull, in 1990, you spoke about, no, I'm telling you, before I started making content, I think 10 years prior, I watched people give their take. I watched people who talked about the business side of it, the political side of it, the, what would I say? Like this, just the different sides of content creating. And I spent a long time researching before I even launched a channel. So I've learned that when you come online, be yourself, but at the same time, it sucks, but you can't speak on certain things. I've seen so many people's channel be doing good, and then it's just it's doing good, and then it just gets shut down, or it gets multiple copyright strikes or whatever, right? So I just don't speak on certain things, because yeah, y'all ain't gonna be having me up here speaking, and then in a couple weeks or months from now, y'all are the same people who are gonna get me removed. Or people have lost their jobs, people have lost their livelihood, people have lost every single thing they've worked for, stripped of their degrees, everything, just because of the opinion they've given on social media. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about anything. I just come on here and I do talk about real life topics, but I keep it in a boundary, because it sucks. In 2026, it's not like 15 years ago. It's not like 20 years ago where people jumped on YouTube and could authentically be themselves. You can't. Like I'm amazed at how many times people come on here to give a story time on what they're what's going on in their life, and then literally people hound these people down, track them down, and find out where they work, where they live, who they're married to. Like, I'm just like, how do you guys find these stuff out, but you can't find all these missing children, all these people who are being around the world. Read between the lines, people jumping from city to city, state to state, country to... Y'all can't find these people, but you can find out somebody who made an opinion you don't like. You can find out where they work, where they live, who they're married to. And no, y'all are some scary people. So, I don't really speak on too much on here because y'all are scary. Y'all scary. Y'all scary. Y'all are scary. Just like back to the topic of at hand that I came here to talk about, which is friendship. Just like how friendship is not the same anymore, social media is not the same anymore. And it sucks because it really limits creators. Like, even with the Nolan Wells case, I've heard that, people who are related to that situation, whether it be family, so-called friends, alleged friends, or people, suspects, whatever, alleged, all these people are now trying to sue each other, allegedly. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, there's so many things I would love to come up here and talk about, but what's the point of talking about it if people are going to try to sue you, if people are going to flag your channel, if... Trust me, I know. I've even in the workplace, there's been so many places I went to and I was like, oh my God, I could be myself here. Yeah, I've been myself there, and trust me, it didn't last for long. The thing about people always say, keep it real, be yourself. And the minute you are yourself, you're either fired, people put strikes out on your channel, on your content, people try to ruin your whole livelihood. So people, I've learned in all my years is that people will tell you to be yourself, but unfortunately you have to do that with a bit of a filter. Because if you 100% be yourself and you're not cautious of when and where and how you be yourself, you can ruin your whole life. And these people, it's entertainment for them. They don't give a if you lose everything you've worked for, and now you're on the side of the road begging for change, or having a GoFundMe. Like, don't do that just for a couple of views and clicks and likes, and because I have nothing to prove. Or are you for this people? Are you for this movement? I'm for the movement of people living their life and doing what they want to do freely. Like, all of us should be able to live our life freely, do what we want, live how we want, as long as we're not hurting or harming anyone. And we are respecting ourselves and the creator, whatever you deem that to be. Like, you know what I mean? As long as you're living in a fairly decent manner, I'm for that. But I'm not gonna come on here and pound the pavement to be anything and then y'all done tear me down. But someone said, where do I live? I live in Toronto, Canada. It's getting so dark out here. Ooh, let me turn around this camera. Can't believe I've been on live for like half an hour. Do y'all see that beautiful view of like the buildings up there? I'm in High Park, so like it's a beautiful view. There's actually like a waterfront kind of area over there. I really don't want to go down there right now in the night. Especially since if you joined this live earlier, you'll hear that I basically had a close encounter with a skunk. So I'm actually gonna leave the park right now because it's getting dark and I didn't plan to stay here this long. But yeah, I hope that everybody is able to find some true friends, some friends that really damn, lighting really sucks at night. I hope everybody is able to find some true friends, friends that really are there for you, who really support you. And like I said, friends that why is that car coming down here in the night? Like, what? Friends that you really can be vulnerable with and, really be your authentic self. Because as I said, online, you can't do that. So offline, I really hope everybody can find their people. Find your people who you can laugh with, you can kiki, you can go out in the park, you can just let free, because nothing is more freeing than being with people who you can be yourself with. Like, I miss that. In my teens and my early 20s, I had that. those friendships didn't last, unfortunately, but I think back on my moments and my memories from then, and I am thankful for them, even though they didn't last. And I wish that on anyone, to have friends you can be free with, you can laugh, you can let down your hair, you can just be you. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. That's what life's about, and that's what I support. So yeah, y'all. I'll continue the friendship of the friendship. I'll continue the topic on friendship and stuff like that, because it's a topic I love to talk about, and it's a topic that we all experience. We all have friends, and even if you don't have friends, you have acquaintances or whatever. You know what I mean? Or you will have friends or acquaintances. I'm looking over there because there's a light that keeps going on and off, and I feel like that would only be happening if there is an animal over there. Anyways, I wish everybody great and happy and healthy friendships, and I will catch y'all in another live or video. Like, comment, share, subscribe, y'all, and thank you for everyone who joined the live and who's gonna watch the replay. And yes, like, comment, share, subscribe. Bye, y'all. Have a good night or morning, evening, whatever time it is where you're at. Bye, y'all. How do I stop this? Nope, that ain't it. That's saying send link. Bye, y'all.